Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm here at my home shop again, and I wanted to expand a little bit further on the old machinist method of sharpening a drill. Now, if you do this even a little bit, it's worth it to spend the $8 or $9 or $10, or I don't remember exactly what it costs, but to get that little tool right there. That bad boy is sold on Amazon, probably even Home Depot. It's made by General. I'm going to include a link in the description in this video as well. So this little guy is made for sharpening a twist drill correctly by hand, using that angle right there. This thing is 118 degree included angle. I think I had a question earlier in regards to how to sharpen a drill at 135 and do a split point. So we're going to sharpen the 118 and we're going to do a split point on this one so you can see that as well. Now, the first thing that I want to cover in regards to sharpening this drill using this gauge is that when you're doing this on a regular bench grinder like what you see right here, it's imperative that you start out with a wheel that's either new or that has been dressed off, so it doesn't have any grooves or irregular wear in it. It needs to have a nice flat surface on it. Why? Well, because if you sharpen this drill with this rock and it's not straight, then it's going to cut that same pattern into the drill and it's useless. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish dressing off this wheel, and then we're going to get into sharpening the drill. Now that we've got our fine stone dressed off with the dressing tool, I want to give you another quick tip before we get started. One is, if your drill is in really sad shape, which this one is not, this one's actually pretty good. If yours is in sad shape, then it's probably a better idea to rough out the general shape of the drill on the other rock or on the other stone, because you don't want to do all of that work and wear a pattern in the fine stone that you want to do your precision grinding on, for lack of better words. Okay, so we've got the fine grinding stone dressed off where it's good and flat. Now I want to give you a quick tip. If your drill is in bad shape, which this one is not, this one actually looks like it's pretty good. If yours is in bad shape, you don't want to use the fine grinding stone that you just dressed off to do your roughing work. You want to go to the other side, or hopefully a different grinding stone that's rougher, and just dress it down and do most of your roughing work over there. Okay, so now that we've got that part straightened out, we're going to go ahead and start grinding on this one, and this is going to go pretty quick. It's got one little nick in the flute, nothing too bad. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to use the general tool for drill sharpening, and then we'll be done with this. This won't take long at all. Okay, now we got the drill sharp. It'll cut right now the way it is, but we want to finish it off. We want to do the split point, and I also wanted to show you an up close look at what a correctly sharpened drill looks like using this gauge. Now the drill, the point is going to be the same when I turn it around to the other side. Okay, so that thing is just dead perfect in the middle. Now we want to do a split point on this drill, and so that's going to be grinding some of the relief off of it, off of both sides. And that process is a little bit trickier to do, and it takes a little bit of practice to get it right. The reason why you do that is because it decreases tool pressure, or what you notice as the effort it takes to push the drill into the part and actually get it cutting at a decent rate. Now, you're not going to notice it. It's not going to do any good for you with twist drills, say under 3/8 of an inch or so, especially by hand. And in fact, it can even promote chipping on the point. Okay, so I'm still going to show you how to do it. This drill, I think this is a 7/16 or a 1/2 inch. I'm going to show you how to do it on here. Now, the problem you're going to run into is if you have a used grinding stone, the problem you're going to have is if the corner of that grinding stone is not perfectly square, it gets really hard to put that split point on there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. This one's in fair shape, so it'll probably go pretty good. But again, I really don't think it's worth it for drills under 3/8, maybe even up to a 1/2 inch. So check it out. Okay, now we got the drill ready to put the split point on it. Now keep in mind, this drill will work just fine like it is, but we're going to go ahead and put the split point on it just to show you how to do it. Now you want to rotate the cutting edge of the drill about 45 degrees up. If this is 90 degrees and that's horizontal, you want to rotate it about 45 degrees up. Now you want to get the side of the grinding wheel about a 32nd of an inch inside of the flute. And you can lay into it pretty good. When you roll it over, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And there it is. You have a perfect relief on the back side. And if you notice, it cuts into the point just a little bit. That's what we call thinning the web, or narrowing the point down. That's where the decrease in the tool pressure comes from, is by getting rid of that wider web right there. Okay, so we've learned how to thin the web down on this, and again, the main purpose of that is to narrow down the point right there, or the web. That's where most of the tool pressure comes from. So I'm going to throw a piece of aluminum up here. I'm going to drill a quick hole in it just so you get an idea how good this thing's going to cut. Okay, there's the drill we just sharpened. It's in a regular 18-volt Milwaukee. I'm going to zoom in so you can watch this thing cut. But what you're looking for is equal sized chips coming off of both flutes. And that's how you know you did it right. Okay, so there's the end of the video. We covered how to use the general drill gauge, showed you where to get it at. That thing is an indispensable tool. You cannot do without that in the garage. If you do any kind of hot rod work, workshop work, you just want to drill a good hole. That sounded weird. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. It's not something that you're going to pick up overnight. It's not something that is too terribly difficult to do, but it does take a little practice. Don't be too terribly concerned with thinning the web. I really don't think there's a whole lot of value in that. On smaller stuff that you would drill by hand. Maybe in a bigger drill that you would use in a drill press, maybe something over a 1/2 inch. That's just my personal opinion. Take it for what it's worth. It's a good skill to have, and it will come in useful at some point, so just keep that in mind. So anyways, as usual, thanks for stopping by and checking it out again, man. If you haven't already, hit the little button down there, the one that looks like this. Thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Hope to see you in the next one. Some really cool stuff coming up. Almost forgot the most important part. Subscribe.